Hi, I'm Mike Corrigan, President and CEO of BC Ferries. I'd like to welcome you to the Respect in the Workplace program. Our long-term goal at BC Ferries is to become one of the best employers in Canada in the eyes of our employees. And we know that we can only achieve this if all employees feel valued and respected, not only for the jobs they do, but for who they are. So a number of years ago, we decided to focus on building a culture of mutual respect. Back then, our emphasis was on eliminating potential incidents of harassment and disrespect. We put together the first phase of our Respect in the Workplace program and did our best to ensure all employees attended. We also asked our managers to be especially vigilant for possible incidents of harassment, workplace bullying, and other forms of disrespectful behavior. We've made significant strides since then, and today we continue to pay close attention to any issues of disrespect and harassment should they arise. If we become aware of any examples of things like bullying, sexual harassment, or any other behaviors which insults, disrespects, or hurts others, we'll continue to take prompt and appropriate action. We've come a long way in our recent years, and I think it's now time to initiate the second phase of our move to an even higher level of respect in the workplace. So we now want to broaden our focus to encourage and celebrate highly respectful behaviors. Every day we see teams of BC Ferries employees who enjoy working together because they treat each other well. We see acts of kindness, a willingness to help, and a number of other examples of highly respectful behavior. That's what we mean when we talk about a culture of mutual respect, and that's what this program is all about. I'll be back later to say a few words, but in the meantime, I want to pass you over to Clay, who will talk to you a little more about the program's objectives and act as your guide and moderator.
Thanks, Mike. Hi. As Mike says, I'm going to act as your guide through this video. The first part of today's program is about progress, what we've achieved so far and how we've achieved it. And then we're going to hear from the views of some BC Ferries employees. They'll tell you what they're seeing out there in regards to respect and give their opinions about our progress. But before we do that, I want to follow up on a point Mike made earlier. He said that our focus was going to include highly respectful behavior. We all know what disrespectful behavior looks like. We've all seen things like bullying, sarcasm, telling jokes at others' expense, and spreading unkind gossip. But what do we mean by highly respectful behavior? I'd like you to pause and think for a moment about what you think are good examples of highly respectful behavior. When you think about it, there are lots of things we can do to show respect for the people we work with. They all have three advantages. They make someone else feel good, they make us feel good, and most important, they help make BC Ferries a great place to work. As we discuss these respectful behaviors, think about how you feel when they happen to you, and how great it would be if they happened more often. An act of kindness. The dictionary defines kindness as an act that shows consideration and caring. This covers a lot of ground, but the thing about kindness is that you know it when you see it. And when it's directed at you, you feel really good. Volunteering help or assistance. Now, I'm sure you know people who are always looking for ways to help, even if it's not part of their job. They'll ask a struggling passenger if they can help. They'll ask a new employee if there's anything she needs to make her first day less stressful. Having these people around sure makes life a lot easier. Praise and genuine compliments. Have you noticed how some people always seem to notice what's wrong, but they seldom notice what's right? Luckily, there are others who make a point of noticing the positive and saying so. Whether it's a job well done, overcoming difficulty, or a noticeable achievement, it's so nice when someone notices and tells you so. Empathy. Empathy is simply letting people know that we understand their feelings or their problems. Now, many of us don't realize how saying something like, "That must have been very difficult for you," can help, but it does. We can't always give good advice, but we can at least show empathy. Listening and showing interest. Have you ever been in a situation where you're telling someone something which to you is very important, but they obviously aren't listening? It doesn't feel very good. On the other hand, think of a time when you were talking to someone who was totally absorbed by what you were saying. How did that feel? Actively listening and showing genuine interest is a powerful communication tool and one that does wonders when building relationships. Forgiving others. In a hectic working environment, it's so easy to make a mistake or to offend someone without meaning to. When this happens, we should certainly let the offender know how we feel, but then we should let it go. Don't let it remain an issue that may escalate and further poison the relationship. Someone once said, To err is human, to forgive divine. So make an effort to be divine. Tolerating differences. Everybody's different. That's what makes working with others so interesting. Those we work with will always have different interests, attitudes, and beliefs, whether it's political, spiritual, or simply who supports the best hockey team. It's good to remember that just because someone has different views doesn't mean they're wrong, simply different. Work life is so much more pleasant when we accept and even celebrate different ideas and values. Discouraging personal gossip. There will always be gossip in the workplace. It becomes disrespectful and often hurtful when it focuses on a colleague. You may not be able to eliminate gossip, but you can play your part in discouraging it. That is, not starting, listening to, or repeating gossip about a colleague. Keeping humor impersonal. Humor in the workplace is a good thing. It improves relationships and alleviates stress. However, humor shouldn't focus on other people. A truly witty person is one who can lighten a situation with a humorous comment, but one that doesn't make fun of others. Speaking up if we see others showing disrespect. Hurtful, unkind behavior continues because other team members allow it. As bystanders, they watch it happen, probably disapprove, but say nothing. Show that you value a positive workplace and set an example by tactfully taking the culprit aside and telling him or her that you don't think their behavior is acceptable. These are examples we see all the time at BC Ferries. And if you're lucky enough to work in a department where they're common, well, you'll know how much of a difference they can make to your working day. And you'll also realize that the only one with the power to do more of these things is you. You and your teammates. You can decide to say or do something that might brighten up or make someone's day and contribute to a positive workplace. There are also some corporate and local initiatives that BC Ferries has taken to encourage and support respectful behavior. I'll take the next few minutes to discuss 3 of them. Management training. First, we'll see how management training at BC Ferries continuously emphasizes the importance of developing a respectful culture. Hiring practices. Secondly, we'll see how BC Ferries build on this culture when making hiring and promotion decisions. SailSafe. And finally, we'll review the SailSafe program and see how its emphasis on workplace safety naturally incorporates that concept of respect. So let's first look at management training. And who better to describe it than a graduate of one of our core training programs? Here's Elizabeth Hall to talk about her experiences on the Coaching for Business Success program.
I attended the coaching program last May, and we focused on safety culture in the workplace and also reinforcing leadership culture with respect and engagement. Well, I build the culture of respect by listening to people. I walk the walk. I'm out there and I'm showing that I work hard, and so you learn by example. So I like to show that I work hard and that I am there for them and listening and there as a leader. I really enjoyed actually being with all the cross-section of people in management and the supervisor roles. I was with the chief stewards, I was with chief engineers. I enjoyed their experience and their knowledge, and together during the discussions and the role playing, I found it really helpful. I found myself listening more, really taking a step back and trying to empathize with their stories. And I really found that it was helpful. And I found that paraphrasing gave them the chance to really realize I'm engaged, I'm listening. I'm already seeing the changes. And we've had a few casuals say they really enjoy working on this watch, which is really great. And yeah, I'm happy to make a difference. With your course, I really do. It helped me. It helped me realize that I have an important role, an important job, and I'm determined to make this a better place.
Thanks, Elizabeth. If they haven't already, all supervisors and managers will attend these training programs. Once they have the skills required to build a safer, more respectful workplace, they'll be expected to return to work and apply them. But you may have heard the old saying that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Which in this context means that even the best training will work out only if the trainees come into it with the attitude and potential to apply it back on the job. And that's where our second initiative comes in, hiring practices at BC Ferries. If you hire respectful people, then you're off to a running start. And training will simply reinforce their positive attitude and fine-tune their skills. Now let's hear from Barbie Pinio, who'll explain how this is taken into account in the selection and promotion of employees.
So as an employee relations director at BC Ferries, we spend a great deal of our time screening out employees to make sure we get the right fit. And one of the skill sets we're looking for is respectful behavior. So how do you do that? You know, it's difficult, but you go through an interview process and you ask the right questions and you take that time with the candidate, ensuring that they answer those questions in a way that it is the right fit. So an example of an interview question that we might ask, especially for a supervisor or manager that we were taking on at BC Ferries, would be, can you tell us about a time when you had to deal with an employee complaint that they were being bullied in the work site? You know, what sort of measures did you take? What action did you take? How did you handle the situation? I think looking at some of the responses to those types of questions would help us to determine, you know, is this the right fit for the job at BC Ferries? Does it fit into the culture and the core values of what we're looking to do here at the Ferries with our leadership?
So, to summarize so far, BC Ferries does its best to hire employees who value and practice highly respectful behavior. Then they train their supervisors and managers to ensure that their work teams do a great job, while at the same time building a culture of trust and respect. Now we'll move on to look at our third initiative, the SailSafe program. It may not be immediately obvious how safety and respect are so closely related. Here now are Dave Collette and Jamie Marshall, both SailSafe champions, to tell you about it.
Well, SailSafe started about 5 years ago with and it's sort of a tripartite agreement that's between the union, the BC Ferry and Marine Workers Union, and BC Ferries, and we partnered with a company called RightForce, which is Right Rate Training in the UK and Force Technologies in Denmark. And really what it's about is changing the culture at BC Ferries. And it's changing the culture around safety, and a key part of safety is trust and respect. And it's getting employee engagement with the buy-in of all the employees to believe that the company cares about safety, they care about each employee's individual safety, and to make sure that everybody comes to work and leaves and goes home to their families safely. SailSafe has a tremendous impact on the employees and the engagement and the trust that we've had between the employees, the bargaining employees, and management. 5 years ago when we launched SailSafe, there was quite a distrust between management and the employees, and this has really broken down those barriers to trust and to cooperation and collaborative thinking and problem solving. So it's been a long voyage, 5 years roughly, but our consultants tell us that it's going to be probably 7 to 10 years to fully get there. So we've still got a long way to go.
SailSafe has definitely improved respect since it's been up and running for 5 years between management and employees. Employees are now finding that, and as time progresses, that they can approach their supervisors and managers with more ease, bring up any safety concerns with no fear of backlash.
Here's another example of how SailSafe and respect and engaging employees is really working at BC Ferries, in my opinion. The Celebrate the Wins program. We often focus on the negatives, I guess, and the incidents and what didn't go right, but 99.9% of the time things do go right. And so the Celebrating the Wins is really about engaging employees, having them get involved in it, and we're making videos of the wins.
In the 5 years that SailSafe has been in play and is going to continue on, it's not going anywhere soon, respect is continually earned. Prior to the SailSafe, it was very hard for employees to go to their supervisors and managers and feel respect. And that's definitely taken a 180 and is starting to build on.
One area that we engage the employees in annually, and this will be, I think, coming into our 4th year, is the town hall sessions. Those run in the fall of each year, and it's where we get the frontline supervisors and key individuals in the organization that supervise people into town hall sessions to discuss safety, what's working, what's not working.
Town hall meetings are a great way to bring information to supervisors and managers. At the town hall meetings, they're given quite a bit of information which they'll take back to the work site and disperse to the employees, the frontline employees. And here's a great example of an exercise that we do at town halls that links safety and respect.
What happened? You okay?
Yes.
That was a close call. Holy smoke.
Thanks, Annie, for coming into my office. How do you like your new job?
You know what? It's been pretty great so far. Still learning the ropes.
Yeah, it's a busy time right now. What are all these books you were carrying down those stairs?
I'm actually just getting ready to do a new hire orientation for the seasonals that are coming on for the summer.
Wow, those are a lot of books. Is that the kind of load you normally have to carry down those stairs?
It's probably a little bit more than normal, but it's a big group that's in today.
I see. Yeah, well, that was a close call at the bottom of the stairs there. Where I would have, if it was a bit further up, it might have really hurt yourself. Would there maybe have been a better way to come down those stairs?
I guess in the future, maybe I could carry less books and hold the railing, or maybe call a terminal attendant to help me carry the load down.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. That's a really good idea. Was there any other issues, any other safety issues that you can think of?
No, I think that would definitely fix the problem on the stairs.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be great. And I'm really glad that you weren't injured. That was a close call.
Thank you, yeah.
Anyway, thanks and have a nice day.
Training, hiring, and SailSafe. 3 examples of initiatives that we know are building greater respect at BC Ferries. But remember, we said that you, the employees, are the real difference makers. So let's have a look at what's happening out there in the workplace. We asked several BC Ferries employees to keep their eyes open and then come along and tell us what they're seeing out there in the real world. And here are just some of the things they told us.
The camaraderie here is really fantastic. To say it a different way, you can't load a ship by yourself. It takes a team to load one of these vessels when you work here. So you really have to rely and trust your other team members and their decisions that they're going to make, because at the end of the day, you really need them. You can't do it alone. The general vision is that things are constantly improving. I don't think it's the best, but nothing can be the best, I think. I think you always have to improve and work at your constraints.
My experiences here have been working in actually quite a respectful workplace. I find the level of people that I do work with all to be very professional and for the most part, and through that they've learned to work with one another. So far my experiences have been good.
I'm working with BC Ferries not for very long, but since I have joined within last 4 years, what I have seen is that there is a change with the respect, and people are accepting other people doing good job, however small it is.
I think that respect within the ferries over the years has increased, and I see a big improvement in the last 10 years between engineering, deck, and catering. Like, I think that the departments are working together a lot better and show a lot more respectful behavior between all 3 of the departments now.
The way I see respect at BC Ferries is a definite improvement over, say, the last 5 years. I've never had an issue with respect in the workplace myself, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I would think that, a 7 or an 8 would be suitable.
The respect level at BC Ferries, from my point of view, it's good. There's we can always make some improvements, and always encourage more respectful behavior. But it's a good level of respect currently.
I see BC Ferries at this time as quite a respectful workplace. If I was going to rank it out of, say, a scale of 10, 10 being the highest, I give it an 8 at this time. People are sharing ideas, working as a team, listening to others, showing good communication skills, and a pride in what we do and how the public perceives us.
I do see at the ferries here a lot of teamwork and cooperation, a lot of empathy, a lot of guidance, especially for new employees. There are a lot of senior employees who mentor the younger employees and really take them under their wing and show them how to get the job done. And a lot of us junior employees really appreciate that.
Probably the first thing that comes to my mind is as engineers, if one individual is working on a task, he usually doesn't have to ask for assistance. People are more than willing, your fellow coworkers are more than willing to offer their assistance to help you through either suggestions or actual actions. That was something pretty big to me. I found teamwork to be huge due to each other's respect for one another. Also, I can say there's been a couple moments in the last 5 years where I've seen some appreciation out of the blue, not just to myself, but also for others. That really goes a long way to show that people are acknowledging what we do here at work.
The one most recent example which I have seen is that we had an annual TC inspection for the ship, and I went in the morning for my shift, and I saw that, went for my rounds and talked with other departments, and everybody was just praising and thankful for senior chief engineer who had put notice in all departments, catering, deck, and of course engine room, saying that everybody's work and efforts are great. The teamwork was very good. We have completed the TC inspection and we are now certified again. And everybody was very happy and were praising senior chief engineer for doing and praising them.
I think that the big improvement within the ferries in the last 10 years has been teamwork. And I think that within engineering, there's a lot more teamwork, and when you're working as a team, everybody shows a lot more respect for each other. I also think that there's a lot more teamwork in the other departments and also between departments right now.
See lots of compassion and empathy, lots of staff willing to go out to help others, and show great deals of respect and courtesy.
I've seen coworkers practicing good, effective communication skills. They take their time to listen attentively, show with good body language, eye contact, empathy, not interrupting when someone's talking, and understanding what they're saying and really focusing on what they have to say and being a really good communicator. I think that's very important for a good, respective workplace.
Well, you know, there's a lot of language barriers and multicultural religious spectrum that we live at, and it's very important to be tolerable of everyone else's beliefs, their systems of living, and I think that we do a good job of it here, but it definitely, like I said, it's an area that could be improved for sure.
I think if communication was a little bit more effective in between departments, and not to say that it's not, because I think generally it's quite good, but if we could improve our communication from department to department, as well as maybe educate each other from department to department so that we have a better understanding of how these three entities go about their own daily activities, then I can see respect definitely improving that way.
There are some opportunities which will increase our overall standard by some people who don't respect other work or always try to criticize every single thing for somebody who's worked or who's with him. They will eventually, I think, will listen to the other people who are praising and getting people more motivated and getting work done better. And those people will realize that criticizing is not going to improve somebody's doing a better work, but praising him will improve the way he will work.
I think that the one area that BC Ferries could improve upon in regards to respect is that the problems are allowed to fester or get larger than they need to if
supervisors and employees, when there was a problem, stepped up and said, there is a problem between this department or these employees that needs to be addressed, and we had a method to address that. I think that that would increase the respect within the workplace. As new employees are coming into the company, you know, the existing employees need to be made aware that they need to show the respect and give this employee a chance to learn the ropes, so to speak.
Sometimes there is conflict amongst employees that seems to be allowed to simmer, escalate.
To improve the respect of BC Ferries, we need to bridge the gap between veteran employees or seasoned employees and new employees. There's quite often a level of misunderstanding between expectations and how we express the expectations, from supervisors to new workers and vice versa. If we can bridge the gap or find a better way to do so, we can gel and work together and show great levels of respect in a much quicker and more efficient way.
I believe one of the main things we need to work on is with humor. Make sure it's impersonal. No one likes to be a butt of a bad joke. Also, with gossip in the workplace, personal gossip, that should be cut out, and it's another thing I think we should work on. And remember, people expect to be treated with respect at all times, and treat others how you would like to be treated.
I think that we need to continuously focus on the areas of respect in the workplace. It's key. It's like safety. If we lose focus on safety, it'll start to wane away, and there'll be other priorities that we have. Continuing to focus on respect and take it to the next level is key for all our employees to make it a happy, respectful place to work, as well as make people want to come to work because it is respectful. And they feel that it's somewhere they want to be, because we spend so much time at work. We spend 8 to 10 hours a day, sometimes more at work. And if you don't like coming to work and you don't feel that it's safe and respectful, it's hard to get up in the morning and come to work.
Well, there you have it. Some interesting viewpoints from BC Ferries employees. So let me summarize what we've seen so far today. When employees come to work knowing they'll be treated well by their colleagues and bosses, it benefits everyone. This is what we mean when we talk about a culture of respect. Management training, hiring, and the SailSafe program all have contributed to a more respectful workplace. But the biggest factor working in our favor is you, the employees. Only you have the ability to keep us moving forward. And from what we've seen here, many of you are doing more than your part. Well done. And let's keep making it better. Let's close now with a comment from Mike Corrigan.
Clay is right. When we look at how far we've come in the past few years, we know we're on the right track. But respect is like safety in at least 2 ways. First, only you can make a difference. And secondly, it's a journey of continuous improvement, and you never really reach the destination. We're determined to eliminate all forms of disrespect and harassment, and that will continue to be a priority. But it's also important to celebrate and build on our successes. So congratulations to the many respectful employees who are helping to transform BC Ferries from a good place to work into one of the best places to work.
Ferry vessels. That's the Skeena Queen docked Bainbridge 3, ready for boarding, bound for Fulford Harbor on Salt Spring Island.